Welcome back. Coinology. The United States 1-cent coin dated 2008 looks small, ordinary, almost invisible in daily life, yet behind the tiny copper-colored disc exists a story so deep, so layered, that collectors, historians, and dreamers around the world continue to talk about it in whispers and rumors, in auction halls and online forums, in late-night searches and long debates, because sometimes the most common object can hide the most uncommon value, and the 2008 1-cent coin is often placed right at the center of that conversation. When you hold a 2008 penny in your fingers, you are not just holding spare change, you are holding a piece of American history frozen in metal, a record of economic transition, design legacy, and minting secrets that still fascinate millions. The year 2008 itself was not an ordinary year. It was a time when the global economy shook, when markets crashed, when people questioned the value of paper money, and when even small coins began to matter again. In that year, the United States Mint continued producing the Lincoln 1 cent, a coin that has existed since 1909, carrying the face of Abraham Lincoln, one of the most respected figures in American history. But while millions of pennies were struck in 2008, not all of them were exactly the same, and this is where the mystery truly begins. The standard 2008 1-cent coin weighs approximately 2.5 grams. This weight comes from the modern composition used by the U.S. Mint since 1982, where the penny is made of 97.5% zinc with a thin copper coating of about 2.5%. That change in composition was originally introduced to reduce costs, because copper had become too expensive. However, weight alone has become one of the most important clues for collectors, because any deviation, even by a fraction of a gram, can suggest something extraordinary. A heavier penny, closer to 3.1 grams, immediately raises questions. Is it an error? Is it struck on the wrong planchet? Or could it be something far rarer? The coin symbol itself, the simple cent sign, represents more than just 1/100th of a dollar. It represents the foundation of the American monetary system, a unit so small that many people ignore it, yet so important that it has survived wars, depressions, and technological revolutions. In 2008, when digital payments were rising and people questioned whether the penny should even exist anymore, the Mint continued to produce it, almost as a statement that tradition still mattered. The reverse design of the 2008 penny is especially important, because it represents the final full year of the Lincoln Memorial reverse before the major redesign in 2009. The Lincoln Memorial, with its columns and tiny seated statue of Lincoln visible at the center, symbolizes memory, respect, and endurance. For nearly 50 years, from 1959 to 2008, this design was used, making the 2008 penny the closing chapter of a long visual era. Collectors often call it the last memorial penny, and that alone gives it a special place in numismatic history. But what truly turns the 2008 1-cent coin into a legend are the stories of rare variations, mint errors, and extraordinary conditions that can transform an ordinary penny into something worth incredible amounts of money. When people hear figures like $57,000 million, their first reaction is disbelief, and rightly so, because such values are not about face value or even normal collector prices. They are about extreme rarity, historical uniqueness, and sometimes even myth-level speculation within the coin collecting world. One of the most talked about possibilities is the existence of 2008 pennies struck on the wrong metal planchet. If a 2008 penny were accidentally struck on a copper planchet intended for an earlier era, or on a foreign planchet, its weight, color, and sound would immediately stand out. Such errors are incredibly rare, and when authenticated, they can sell for tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, or even more, depending on uniqueness. While no officially confirmed $57 billion penny exists, the idea represents the dream that collectors chase, the belief that somewhere, hidden in a jar or drawer, is a coin so rare that it rewrites records. Another factor that drives value is condition. A 2008 penny in circulated condition is usually worth only face value. But a coin graded in perfect or near-perfect mint state, with full original luster, no scratches, no spots, and razor-sharp details, can be worth significantly more. Professional grading services use scales that go up to MS-70, and a 2008 penny graded at the highest levels becomes a trophy piece. Such coins are not just metal, they are perfection preserved, and perfection always carries a premium. Then there are doubled dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and die cracks. Each error tells a story of the minting process, a moment when machines and metal did not align perfectly. In 2008, the U.S. Mint produced billions of pennies across multiple facilities, and with such volume, mistakes were inevitable. Most errors are minor, but a dramatic error can turn a simple coin into a headline. The history of the 1-cent coin itself adds emotional weight to the 2008 issue. Since its introduction in 1793, the cent has changed designs many times, reflecting different eras of American life. From the flowing hair cent to the Indian head cent to the Lincoln cent, each version tells a story. By 2008, the penny had become both beloved and controversial. People complained about its low purchasing power, yet many refused to let it go. The 2008 penny stands right at that crossroads, the end of the memorial design and the beginning of a new chapter. Market value is driven not only by rarity, but by demand, storytelling, and belief. When collectors believe a coin represents something special, prices rise. Auction houses thrive on these beliefs, and record-breaking sales often begin with a simple narrative: last of its kind, first of a series, or unique error. The 2008 penny carries the last memorial narrative strongly, and that alone ensures it will always have a place in collector discussions. Imagining a market value of $57,000 million is imagining the absolute extreme, the idea of a coin so unique that it becomes priceless, more like a national treasure than a collectible. Such a value would require a coin that is not just rare, but historically unmatched, perhaps the only surviving example of a secret mint experiment, or a coin tied directly to a defining moment in history. While this remains in the realm of legend, legends are powerful, and they are what keep people searching through rolls of pennies late at night. The beauty of the 2008 1-cent coin is that it invites everyone to participate. You do not need to be rich to look for one. You can check your change, your old jars, your inherited collections. Every penny holds potential. Most will be ordinary, but the possibility, however small, is what fuels the passion. The weight, the sound when dropped, the color under light, every detail becomes a clue. And so the story continues, from pocket to pocket, from hand to hand, from mint to market. The 2008 penny may be small, but its story is enormous, stretching across history, economics, art, and imagination. This is only the beginning of that story, the first part of a journey into metal, memory, and mystery, where even 1 cent can carry the weight of millions, and sometimes, in dreams and legends, even billions. As the journey deeper into the 2008 1-cent coin continues, the conversation naturally shifts from what the coin is to what the coin could be, because in numismatics, possibility is just as powerful as reality. Collectors do not only chase confirmed facts, they chase potential, and the 2008 penny exists in that strange space where mass production meets microscopic rarity. Billions were made, yet only a handful might carry characteristics that separate them forever from the rest. One of the most important things serious collectors focus on is the mint mark. In 2008, pennies were produced mainly at 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Philadelphia pennies usually carry no mint mark, Denver coins carry a small d, and San Francisco coins, marked with an S, were primarily struck as proof coins for collectors. Each mint had different production pressures, different machines, and different error rates, and this matters more than most people realize. A 2008 D penny with a rare error can be far more desirable than a standard Philadelphia strike, simply because Denver mint errors from certain periods are less commonly preserved. Proof pennies from San Francisco deserve special attention. These coins were not meant for circulation. They were struck using specially polished dies and planchets, resulting in mirror-like fields and frosted design details. A 2008 S-proof penny, especially one with deep cameo contrast and flawless surfaces, represents the highest level of craftsmanship for that year. While most proof pennies are well preserved, any unusual variation or mistake within a proof issue becomes incredibly significant, because proof errors are far rarer than circulation errors. Weight analysis returns again and again as a critical test. Collectors often use precise digital scales capable of measuring down to hundredths of a gram. A normal 2008 penny weighs about 2.50 grams, but imagine discovering one that weighs closer to 3.11 grams, the weight of pre-1982 copper pennies. Such a find would immediately trigger intense scrutiny. Was it plated? Was it altered? Or was it genuinely struck on a leftover copper planchet? Only professional testing, including metal composition analysis, could answer that, and if confirmed, such a coin would instantly enter elite numismatic territory. Sound testing is another surprisingly old-school method that still excites collectors. When gently dropped on a hard surface, a zinc-based penny produces a dull sound, while a copper-based penny rings slightly sharper. Experienced collectors sometimes claim they can hear the difference instantly. While this method is not scientific proof, it often sparks further investigation, and many legendary discoveries begin with something as simple as a different sound. Microscopic examination reveals even more secrets. Under magnification, die doubling becomes visible. Doubled dies occur when the die used to strike the coin received more than one misaligned impression during its creation. This results in doubling of letters, numbers, or even Lincoln's profile. In 2008, minor doubled dies exist, but a strong, dramatic doubled die would be a major discovery. Collectors dream of seeing doubled dates, thickened lettering, or shadow-like images that cannot be explained away as machine doubling. The emotional connection people have with the penny cannot be ignored. For generations, pennies were given as good luck charms, placed in shoes, carried in wallets, or saved in jars. The 2008 penny belongs to the generation that witnessed the financial crisis, and that historical backdrop adds symbolic weight. In times when trust in financial systems weakened, the humble penny remained tangible, solid, and real. That symbolism increases its storytelling value, which in turn influences collector demand. Market psychology plays a massive role in how values explode. Once a coin becomes associated with a headline, a rumor, or a record-breaking sale, interest multiplies. People who never cared about pennies suddenly start searching. Rolls are opened, collections are re-examined, and supply tightens as people hold on to what they find. Even the suggestion that a certain 2008 penny variety could be worth a fortune is enough to ignite global curiosity. Grading is where dreams meet reality. When a collector submits a 2008 penny to a professional grading service, the coin enters a world of microscopes, standards, and strict evaluation. Surface preservation, strike quality, luster, and eye appeal are all judged. A difference between MS-68 and MS-69 can mean thousands of dollars, and the leap to MS-70 can mean near legendary status. Very few coins achieve that level, and those that do often become reference pieces for future comparisons. Storage and preservation are silent factors that decide future value. Many 2008 pennies were poorly stored, exposed to moisture, heat, or chemicals, leading to spotting, corrosion, or discoloration. Zinc-based pennies are especially vulnerable once their thin copper coating is breached. Finding a 2008 penny that survived more than a decade in perfect condition is already difficult, which is why top-grade examples command attention. Stories from collectors around the world add fuel to the legend. Someone claims they found an unusually heavy 2008 penny in a roll. Another posts images of strange markings or color variations online. Experts debate authenticity, skeptics argue against exaggeration, and the cycle continues. Even when claims are disproven, the excitement never fully disappears. It only waits for the next discovery. The idea of extreme values, like tens of millions or more, often comes from the concept of uniqueness. If only one example of a specific error or composition exists, then normal price rules no longer apply. The value becomes whatever someone is willing to pay. Museums, private collectors, and even governments can become bidders, and at that level, money becomes almost secondary to prestige. The 2008 penny also benefits from being part of a transition. The following year, 2009, brought 4 new reverse designs celebrating Lincoln's life, marking a clear break from the memorial era. Collectors often focus heavily on transition years, because they represent endings and beginnings. The last year of a long-running design always attracts attention, and over time, that attention often turns into higher demand. As more years pass, the 2008 penny moves further into history. Coins that once felt modern slowly become vintage. Memories fade, circulation thins, and survivors become harder to find in pristine condition. What feels common today can feel rare tomorrow. This slow transformation is why long-term collectors remain patient, understanding that true value often reveals itself decades later. This second part of the story deepens the mystery rather than closing it. The 2008 1-cent coin remains a symbol of hidden potential, where weight, metal, design, and history intersect. It is not just about money, it is about discovery, belief, and the thrill of possibility. And as the journey continues, the question remains open, waiting for part 3, waiting for the next layer to be uncovered, waiting for that one coin that changes everything. As we move even further into the world of the 2008 1-cent coin, the story becomes less about the surface and more about what lies beneath, because in coin collecting, time itself is a powerful force. The longer a coin exists, the more meaning it gathers, and the 2008 penny is now old enough to be examined not just as spare change, but as a historical artifact born in a moment of economic uncertainty and cultural transition. One of the most overlooked aspects of the 2008 penny is the technology used to produce it. By this time, the United States Mint relied heavily on high-speed automated presses capable of striking hundreds of coins per minute. This efficiency ensured massive output, but it also increased the chance of subtle mechanical errors. Tiny misalignments, worn dies, or planchet feeding issues could occur for only a brief moment before being corrected, meaning that a very small number of coins could carry unique characteristics that would never be repeated. Die deterioration errors are especially fascinating. As dies wear down over time, the details they strike become softer, distorted, or cracked. On some 2008 pennies, collectors have reported visible die cracks running through letters or across the memorial steps. While minor cracks are common and usually low value, a dramatic retained cut or a large break can become a focal point for advanced collectors, especially when the break dramatically alters the appearance of the coin. Another area of interest is color variation. Although 2008 pennies are copper-plated zinc, their appearance can range from bright red to deep brown depending on storage and environmental exposure. Collectors classify copper color as red, red-brown, or brown, and these classifications significantly impact value. A fully red 2008 penny with blazing original luster is far rarer than most people expect, because copper surfaces tone quickly. Finding one that still glows after years of existence is like finding a moment frozen in time. Chemical and environmental anomalies sometimes create coins that look completely different from normal examples. While many altered coins are considered damaged and lose value, some naturally occurring anomalies spark debate. Unusual toning patterns, rainbow effects, or darkened surfaces can either add eye appeal or raise red flags. Determining the difference requires experience, and the uncertainty itself adds intrigue to the hunt. The Lincoln Memorial reverse design holds deeper symbolism than many realize. The memorial itself honors a president who preserved the Union during its greatest crisis. In 2008, as financial systems trembled, the image of the memorial on everyday coinage took on renewed relevance. People may not have consciously thought about it, but the symbolism was there, quietly reinforcing stability and continuity through something as simple as a penny. Collector communities play a crucial role in shaping the legacy of the 2008 penny. Online forums, social media groups, and video platforms have created spaces where discoveries are shared instantly. A single unusual coin can be photographed, uploaded, and debated by experts across the world within minutes. This connectivity accelerates both excitement and skepticism, but it also ensures that genuine discoveries gain recognition faster than ever before. Authentication is the gateway that separates legend from fact. Any 2008 penny claimed to be extraordinarily valuable must pass through professional testing. This can include X-ray fluorescence analysis to confirm metal composition, weight and diameter measurements, and microscopic examination of strike characteristics. Only when a coin passes these tests does it move from rumor into recorded history. Many dreams end at this stage, but the few that survive become famous. The concept of registry sets has also elevated interest in high-grade 2008 pennies. Collectors compete to assemble the finest possible sets of coins, graded and ranked against others. In such competitions, even small differences in grade can matter immensely. A top-ranked 2008 penny can gain fame not just for its quality, but for its position within a competitive collecting landscape. Historical comparisons further enrich the story. Past coins that were once common have later become extremely valuable due to rare errors or unique compositions. Examples from earlier decades remind collectors that rarity is not always obvious at the time of production. This historical pattern fuels the belief that the next great discovery could come from any year, including 2008. The market for rare coins is also influenced by global interest. Collectors from outside the United States, fascinated by American history and culture, actively seek Lincoln cents. This international demand expands the market and increases competition for top examples. When collectors from multiple countries pursue the same rare coin, prices naturally rise. Speculation, while often criticized, is an undeniable part of the coin world. Some people collect purely for love, others for investment, and many for both. The idea that a small coin could one day fund a house, a business, or a future keeps people engaged. Even when extreme figures are unrealistic, the hope itself has value. The passage of time will continue to refine the narrative of the 2008 penny. As more examples are studied, graded, and catalogued, patterns will emerge. Some varieties will fade into obscurity, while others will gain recognition. What matters is that the coin story is still being written. This third part adds another layer to the unfolding mystery. The 2008 1-cent coin is no longer just an object, it is a conversation, a shared pursuit, and a reminder that even the smallest denomination can carry immense significance. The journey is far from over, and with each passing year, the potential for discovery only grows stronger. As the story of the 2008 1-cent coin continues to unfold, it becomes clear that its true power lies not only in metal and minting, but in human behavior, memory, and obsession. Coins are mirrors of society, and the 2008 penny reflects a world standing at the edge of change, holding on to tradition while stepping into uncertainty. This tension gives the coin an emotional gravity that goes far beyond its face value. One of the deepest fascinations surrounding the 2008 penny is the search itself. People all over the world have spent countless hours opening rolls from banks, sorting jars of old change, and examining pennies under magnifying glasses. The act is almost meditative. Each coin is turned, weighed, and inspected, and for a brief moment, the possibility exists that something extraordinary might be found. This feeling is addictive, and it has turned ordinary people into lifelong collectors. Error discovery stories often begin in the most humble ways. Someone notices a penny that looks slightly off, perhaps the date seems thicker, or the rim appears uneven. Curiosity leads to research leads to comparison, and comparison leads to the realization that the coin does not match standard examples. Even if the coin ultimately proves to be normal, the journey itself teaches the collector to see details most people ignore. Planchet errors are especially captivating. Before a coin is struck, the blank metal disc, or planchet, must be perfectly prepared. In 2008, with massive production volumes, the chance of planchet flaws increased. Incomplete plating, incorrect thickness, or improper cutting can all result in coins that look and feel different. An underweight or overweight penny instantly stands out, and such anomalies form the backbone of serious error collections. Off-metal strikes are the holy grail of modern pennies. If a 2008 penny were struck on a planchet intended for another denomination or even another country, its existence would challenge assumptions about mint quality control. Such coins are extremely rare, but history proves they can happen. When they do, they often become iconic, appearing in books, auctions, and museum displays. The role of professional dealers and auction houses cannot be ignored. These institutions act as gatekeepers, shaping which coins gain recognition and which remain obscure. When a 2008 penny with a verified error enters a major auction, it gains legitimacy. Catalogs describe its features, experts analyze its origin, and bidders compete not just for ownership, but for a place in numismatic history. Condition census reports further elevate certain coins. These reports track the highest graded examples known for each coin and variety. If a 2008 penny appears at the top of such a list, it becomes instantly desirable. Collectors seeking the best of the best are willing to pay significant premiums, sometimes far beyond what logic alone would suggest. The psychological value of ownership is powerful. Possessing a rare coin creates a sense of connection to history and exclusivity. It is not just about resale value, it is about being a custodian of something unique. Many collectors describe holding a rare coin as holding time itself, a moment preserved against decay. Economic uncertainty also fuels interest in tangible assets. During and after the financial crisis that began in 2008, many people lost trust in abstract financial instruments. Physical objects like coins felt safer, more real. The penny, small as it is, became part of that shift in mindset. Collecting was no longer just a hobby, it was a form of personal security for some. Myths and exaggerations naturally grow around popular coins. Stories of pennies worth millions circulate widely, often without evidence. While most of these claims are false, they serve an important role. They keep attention alive. They encourage people to learn, to question, and to engage with numismatics. Every myth invites investigation, and every investigation deepens understanding. Education is the quiet hero of the coin world. As more people learn how to identify genuine errors, how to weigh and measure coins, and how to spot alterations, the overall quality of the hobby improves. The 2008 penny has become an educational tool, teaching a new generation how to look closely and think critically. The idea of legacy also emerges strongly here. Collectors often think about what will happen to their coins in the future. Will they be passed to children, donated to museums, or sold at auction? A rare 2008 penny could outlive its discoverer, continuing its journey long after the initial excitement fades. As Part 4 draws to a close, the 2008 1-cent coin stands as a symbol of persistence. It reminds us that value is not always obvious, that patience can reveal hidden stories, and that even in a world moving toward digital abstraction, small physical objects still matter. The penny endures, and so does the fascination surrounding it, waiting for the next discovery, the next chapter, and the next believer to uncover what others have overlooked. As the exploration of the 2008 1-cent coin moves even deeper, another powerful layer reveals itself, the layer of time, patience, and transformation, because coins do not reveal their full story immediately. They age, they travel, they disappear, and sometimes they reappear in the most unexpected places. A penny minted in 2008 may have passed through thousands of hands, crossed state lines, sat in drawers, fallen behind couches, or rested silently in jars, waiting for the moment someone finally looks at it closely. Circulation history matters more than many people realize. A coin that has barely circulated, that somehow avoided scratches, dents, and wear, carries a silent story of survival. Most 2008 pennies were heavily circulated during years when cash was still commonly used. Debit cards and mobile payments were not yet dominant. This means high-grade survivors are far scarcer today than raw mint numbers suggest. Survival rate, not mintage, becomes the real measure of rarity. Human behavior adds unpredictability to the coin's future. Many people throw pennies away, leave them in take-a-penny trays, or ignore them completely. This gradual loss reduces the available population over time. Every year, thousands of 2008 pennies are damaged, destroyed, or forgotten. Quietly, without headlines, scarcity increases. The role of hoarding also shapes value. When people believe a coin might be special, they start saving it in large numbers. This happened with earlier coins in history, and it subtly influences which pieces remain available. Even if most saved coins are ordinary, the act of hoarding creates a pool where rare errors are more likely to survive intact. Somewhere inside those saved groups, the unusual piece may still be waiting. The 2008 penny also exists at a crossroads between generations. Older collectors remember a time when pennies bought real things. Younger collectors encounter them mostly as curiosities. This generational shift affects demand patterns. Nostalgia often drives collecting, and as people who lived through 2008 grow older, their emotional connection to that year may deepen interest in its coinage. Documentation is another powerful force. Once a rare variety or error is officially documented in reference books or databases, its status changes instantly. It becomes recognized, searchable, and desirable. Collectors trust documentation. A 2008 penny that enters the books moves from curiosity to established rarity, and its value follows that path. Stories of rediscovery are some of the most captivating in numismatics. A coin dismissed years ago may later be re-evaluated with new technology or better understanding. What once looked normal can later be recognized as extraordinary. Advances in metal analysis, imaging, and dye study mean that the future may reveal things we cannot yet see clearly today. The emotional thrill of discovery cannot be measured in money. Collectors often describe a racing heartbeat when they notice something unusual. That moment, when possibility opens, is priceless. Even if the coin turns out to be ordinary, the experience stays with the collector. This emotional reward is what keeps the hunt alive year after year. Markets themselves are living systems. They rise, fall, and respond to attention. A quiet coin can suddenly explode in popularity after a single auction result or viral video. Interest feeds interest. The 2008 penny sits quietly now, but it has all the ingredients needed for future attention: a significant year, a transitional design, massive production mixed with potential anomalies, and global reach. The idea of extreme value, figures that seem impossible, often begins as imagination. Imagination inspires action. Action leads to research. Research leads to discovery. While not every dream comes true, history proves that some do. The coin world is full of examples where something once laughed at later became legendary. Ownership also brings responsibility. Collectors who believe they may have found something special must protect it carefully. Improper cleaning, handling, or storage can destroy value instantly. Many potentially rare coins have lost their future because someone tried to make them look shiny. Knowledge becomes protection, and patience becomes profit. As digital money continues to rise, physical coins gain a new kind of importance. They become symbols of a tactile past, reminders of a world where value had weight. The 2008 penny exists at the edge of this transformation, old enough to feel historic, young enough to still be found. Part 5 reinforces a quiet truth: the story of the 2008 1-cent coin is not finished. It is evolving slowly, shaped by time, chance, and human curiosity. Every passing year adds distance from its origin and depth to its meaning. Somewhere, perhaps in a pocket or a forgotten container, a 2008 penny still waits, carrying with it the possibility of rewriting expectations, reminding us that even the smallest coin can hold an enormous future. As the narrative of the 2008 1-cent coin stretches onward, it enters a more philosophical space, where value is no longer just a number, but an idea shaped by belief, scarcity, and collective attention. Coins have always existed at the intersection of metal and meaning, and the 2008 penny is no exception. It lives in the mind as much as it lives in the hand. One of the most powerful drivers of long-term value is narrative continuity. Coins that remain part of public conversation tend to survive in better condition because people treat them differently. Once a year or type becomes associated with potential rarity, people hesitate to spend those coins. They slow down, they look closer, they save. The 2008 penny has already entered that stage for many collectors, quietly transitioning from just change to worth checking. The role of education continues to expand. Beginners today have access to more information than collectors did decades ago. Videos, digital microscopes, and online databases allow even newcomers to study coins at a professional level. This democratization of knowledge increases the chance that rare varieties will be correctly identified instead of being lost. The 2008 penny benefits from this modern environment, where awareness spreads fast. Family collections are another hidden reservoir. Many people inherit jars or boxes of coins without understanding their contents. These collections often sit untouched for years. When they are finally opened, discoveries can happen. A high-grade 2008 penny or an unusual error preserved by chance could emerge from such a collection, instantly becoming a focal point of attention. The concept of relative rarity becomes clearer with time. While billions of 2008 pennies were minted, only a fraction remain in collectible condition. Even fewer are examined carefully. And among those, only a tiny number may show true anomalies. Rarity, therefore, is layered. Common at first glance, rare at second, and exceptional at the deepest level. The global nature of modern collecting cannot be overstated. Collectors from Asia, Europe, the Middle East, and beyond participate actively in American coin markets. This international interest means that discoveries do not remain local. A significant 2008 penny found anywhere in the world can instantly attract global competition. This broad demand amplifies prices and prestige. Historical hindsight often reshapes perception. Years from now, historians may look back at 2008 as a defining moment in economic history. Coins from that year may gain symbolic importance simply because they were part of daily life during a crisis. The penny, humble and overlooked, becomes a silent witness to history. The tension between skepticism and hope is constant. Experts warn against exaggerated claims, while dreamers continue to search. Both roles are necessary. Skepticism protects the integrity of the market, while hope fuels participation. The 2008 penny exists between these forces, balanced on the line between fact and imagination. Future discoveries may not always involve dramatic errors. Sometimes value comes from subtle differences, minor die variations, or exceptional strike quality. As research deepens, what was once considered insignificant can become important. The evolution of standards ensures that the story remains dynamic. Technology will continue to change how coins are studied. Non-destructive testing methods, advanced imaging, and data analysis may reveal patterns invisible today. The 2008 penny may one day be understood in ways we cannot yet imagine. Each advancement adds another lens through which the coin is viewed. The emotional side of collecting grows stronger over time. Many collectors form personal memories around specific coins. A 2008 penny found during a difficult period of life, or shared between family members, gains sentimental value that transcends market price. These personal stories weave into the larger narrative of the coin.as. Part 6 comes to an end. The picture is clearer yet still open-ended. The 2008 1-cent coin stands as a reminder that value is layered, evolving, and deeply human. It is shaped by time, technology, belief, and memory. The journey is ongoing, and each new observer adds something to the story, keeping the humble penny alive in both history and imagination. As the long journey of the 2008 1-cent coin continues into Part 7, the focus shifts toward legacy, memory, and the way small objects quietly outlive the people who create and use them. Coins are among the most durable artifacts of any civilization. Paper fades, digital records disappear, but metal endures. The 2008 penny will still exist long after many other symbols of that year are gone. One of the most fascinating aspects of coins is how they record everyday life rather than extraordinary events. The 2008 penny bought groceries, paid bus fares, rested in cash registers, and passed through millions of ordinary moments. This connection to daily human experience gives it a special historical authenticity. It was not made to be rare, it became meaningful through use and survival. Over decades, patterns begin to emerge. Coins from certain years quietly vanish from circulation faster than others. They are lost, melted, damaged, or simply ignored. Researchers studying circulation trends often notice that modern zinc pennies degrade faster than older copper ones. This means that many 2008 pennies may not survive long-term in good condition, increasing scarcity in ways people rarely consider today. Collectors who think long-term understand that patience is one of the greatest assets. Some coins take 50 or even 100 years to reveal their full significance. The 2008 penny is still young in numismatic terms. What seems common now may feel elusive in the future, especially in top-grade condition. Museum interest is another future possibility. Museums collect not only rare coins, but representative examples of important periods. The financial crisis era may one day be interpreted through everyday objects, including coinage. A pristine or unusual 2008 penny could become part of an exhibit explaining how ordinary people experienced an extraordinary time. The role of storytelling grows stronger with time. Each generation retells history in its own way. Collectors, writers, and educators shape how coins are remembered. If the 2008 penny continues to be discussed, researched, and mythologized, its cultural value will grow regardless of its immediate market price. Markets are also influenced by generational wealth transfer. As collections pass from one generation to the next, priorities change. Younger collectors may value different aspects than older ones. Design, symbolism, and historical context may matter more than traditional rarity metrics. The 2008 penny, with its transitional design and historical timing, fits well into these evolving preferences. The tension between physical and digital value will likely intensify. As money becomes increasingly virtual, physical coins gain symbolic power. They represent tangibility, permanence, and trust. The penny, once dismissed as useless, may one day be seen as a relic of a more tactile economic world. Misunderstood coins often experience a re-evaluation phase. Years later, new research corrects old assumptions. Varieties are reclassified, and overlooked details gain importance. The 2008 penny may still hold secrets that require decades to fully understand. Every re-examination adds depth to its story. The emotional reward of being an early believer cannot be understated. Collectors who study and preserve coins before they become popular often feel a unique satisfaction. Even if values never reach extreme levels, the knowledge that one paid attention when others did not is its own reward. As Part 7 closes, the 2008 1-cent coin stands as a quiet survivor. It carries within it the imprint of a turbulent year, the weight of tradition, and the promise of future discovery. Its story is not loud or dramatic, it is slow, patient, and enduring. And in that quiet endurance lies its greatest power. As the story moves into Part 8 in spirit, even though the journey feels endless, the 2008 1-cent coin begins to reveal its deepest truth, that greatness in numismatics is often invisible at first glance. The most powerful stories are not shouted, they are whispered through time. The penny does not demand attention, it waits for it. One of the strongest forces shaping the future of the 2008 penny is disappearance. Coins do not simply stay forever. Zinc-based cents corrode, split, and decay once their copper coating is compromised. Moisture, soil, and even air slowly eat away at them. Decades from now, many 2008 pennies will no longer exist in any recognizable form. This silent erosion transforms today's abundance into tomorrow's scarcity. Policy decisions also play a role. Debates about eliminating the penny surface again and again. If production ever stops permanently, all existing pennies instantly become relics of a closed chapter. The final years of production, including 2008, would then gain heightened attention. Collectors would look back and identify which years mattered most, and transition-era coins often rise in prominence during such moments. Human memory reshapes value. People remember events through objects. A 2008 penny can become a symbol of survival, of endurance through economic hardship. Objects linked to emotional memory often gain meaning that pure rarity cannot explain. Collectors pay for stories as much as for metal. The difference between hype and legacy becomes clearer with time. Hype burns fast and fades. Legacy builds slowly. The 2008 penny has avoided explosive hype, and that may be its greatest strength. Slow recognition allows genuine scholarship to develop, separating fantasy from fact while still leaving room for wonder. Individual discovery will always remain at the heart of the story. No database or algorithm can replace the moment when a human eye notices something unusual. That spark of curiosity is timeless. Whether it happens tomorrow or 50 years from now, the next important chapter in the 2008 penny's history will likely begin with one person paying attention. Value, in the end, is agreement. It exists because people decide it exists. If enough people believe a coin matters, then it does. The penny has survived for centuries not because it was powerful, but because it was accepted. The 2008 penny carries that same quiet authority. As the long narrative stretches forward, the message becomes simple yet profound. The smallest denomination carries the longest memory. The 2008 1-cent coin is not just about money, errors, or prices. It is about time, belief, and the human instinct to search for meaning in ordinary things. The journey does not conclude with an ending, because coins do not end. They pause, they sleep, they resurface. Somewhere, right now, a 2008 penny rests unnoticed. One day, someone will pick it up, turn it over, and look closer. And in that moment, the story will begin again. As the story flows into part 8, the 2008 1-cent coin begins to feel less like an object and more like a witness, quietly observing the passage of years without changing its form. Metal does not age the way humans do, but it absorbs history through movement, handling, and survival. Every scratch, every tone shift, every preserved surface tells a silent story about where that coin has been and what it has endured. Time changes how people look at ordinary things. What once felt modern slowly becomes historical. Children born after 2008 now see that year as distant, almost abstract, and with that distance comes curiosity. Coins become bridges between generations. A 2008 penny handed to a young collector is not just change, it is a physical link to a past they did not experience firsthand. The survival of detail becomes increasingly important as years pass. Lincoln's profile, the fine lines of his coat, the steps and columns of the memorial, all of these elements soften with circulation. A 2008 penny that still shows crisp detail decades later becomes increasingly impressive. Sharpness becomes a language of preservation, a sign that chance and Caroline. Chance plays a larger role in numismatics than most people admit. Two identical coins can leave the mint on the same day and live completely different lives. One may circulate heavily and be worn smooth, while the other may fall into a drawer and remain untouched for years. Rarity is often born not at the mint, but in the randomness of life. Collectors often speak of quiet years, periods when certain coins receive little attention. These quiet years are where future legends are born. While everyone chases popular issues, overlooked coins age in peace. The 2008 penny exists comfortably in such quiet space, known but not overwhelmed by attention, allowing its true characteristics to emerge slowly. Memory also reshapes importance. Major events imprint themselves on everyday objects. Receipts, newspapers, clothing, and coins all become artifacts. The 2008 penny circulated during a time when people questioned stability and value. That context lingers invisibly on the coin, giving it emotional weight that numbers alone cannot capture. The act of looking closely becomes almost philosophical. When someone examines a penny carefully, they slow down. They notice small things. In a fast-moving world, this focus is rare. The 2008 penny teaches patience, observation, and respect for detail. These qualities are at the heart of collecting, and they are timeless. Belief continues to shape destiny. Not blind belief, but informed curiosity. When people believe something is worth studying, it gains importance. The more the 2008 penny is discussed, researched, and preserved, the more its place in history solidifies. Attention itself is a form of value. Future collectors may redefine what matters. What today's market ignores, tomorrow's scholars may prize. Perhaps subtle production traits, regional circulation patterns, or environmental effects will become areas of focus. The 2008 penny remains open to reinterpretation, its story flexible rather than fixed. As part 8 settles into silence, the message becomes clearer. The power of the 2008 1-cent coin does not come from loud claims or instant riches. It comes from endurance. It survives quietly, waiting for time to do what it always does, separate the ordinary from the meaningful. Somewhere, the coin still moves, still rests, still waits. And as long as it exists, the story continues, shaped not by how much it is worth today, but by how deeply it is understood tomorrow. As the journey reaches part 9, the story of the 2008 1-cent coin begins to feel almost timeless, as if the coin itself is no longer bound to the year stamped on its surface. time has stretched the meaning of that small date, transforming it from a simple number into a marker of an era, a symbol of transition, endurance, and quiet resilience. By now, the penny is no longer just being examined for errors or grades, it is being understood as part of a much larger human pattern. Civilizations have always used small coins to anchor daily life. When economies tremble, it is often the smallest units that reveal the most about trust, survival, and continuity. The 2008 penny circulated when confidence was shaken, yet it continued to pass from hand to hand, accepted without question. That alone gives it historical strength. Absence becomes a powerful force at this stage of the story. Coins that are no longer seen begin to matter more. When people stop noticing pennies in everyday transactions, the ones that remain stand out. Scarcity is not always sudden, sometimes it creeps in quietly. The 2008 penny is entering that phase, slowly fading from daily visibility and moving into memory. Collectors often describe a moment when a coin clicks, when understanding replaces curiosity. The 2008 penny reaches that moment when one realizes it represents the end of something familiar. It closed the long chapter of the Lincoln Memorial reverse. Everything after it looks different. Endings have a unique emotional pull, and that pull strengthens with time. The role of trust is deeply embedded in coinage. A penny is a promise made tangible. Despite its low value, it represents agreement, stability, and continuity. In 2008, when many promises failed, the penny remained consistent. It did not change shape, weight, or identity. It simply existed, reliable and unchanged. Future research may uncover connections not yet fully explored. Patterns in die usage, regional distribution, or survival rates could redefine how the 2008 penny is categorized. Academic study often lags behind collecting passion, but when it catches up, it adds depth and authority to what collectors already sense intuitively. The idea of extreme value evolves here. Instead of focusing on impossible numbers, value becomes layered: historical value, educational value, cultural value, and personal value. Money becomes only one expression of worth. The 2008 penny grows richer in meaning even if its market price remains modest for most examples. Inheritance plays a quiet role. Coins pass hands not only through spending, but through family lines. A child receiving a small collection years from now may find a 2008 penny and ask questions. Those questions keep history alive. Curiosity becomes inheritance. The global nature of time ensures that perspective changes. What feels recent now will feel ancient later. Future generations will look back at 2008 through stories, documents, and objects. The penny will be one of the few things they can physically touch from that year. That tangibility gives it power beyond statistics. As part 9 settles into reflection, the story slows. Not because it is ending, but because it is maturing. The 2008 1-cent coin no longer needs excitement to justify its existence. It has earned its place simply by lasting, by carrying a year, a design, and a shared experience forward through time. The coin remains small, quiet, and patient. And in that patience, its greatest value continues to grow. As we arrive at part 10, the final chapter of this extended journey into the 2008 1-cent coin, it becomes clear that the coin is far more than its material or denomination. It is a vessel of history, memory, and human curiosity, a silent witness to a world in transition. Its copper-plated zinc body, its Lincoln portrait, its memorial reverse, all speak quietly but persistently to the passage of time and the persistence of tradition. The 2008 penny reminds us that even the most ordinary objects can carry extraordinary meaning. In a year marked by uncertainty, when markets fell and people questioned the very foundations of their economic life, this small coin remained steadfast. It was accepted, circulated, saved, and sometimes lost, but always it endured. The durability of metal mirrors the endurance of human aspiration, small, often overlooked, yet capable of carrying weight beyond its appearance. Errors, anomalies, and rare variations, whether a heavy penny struck on the wrong planchet, a subtle double die, or a perfectly preserved proof example, remind collectors and historians alike that perfection is fragile and chance governs rarity. Some 2008 pennies remain unnoticed, waiting quietly for the moment when discovery transforms them from everyday currency into prized artifacts. These moments of discovery, often occurring in garages, drawers, and coin rolls, illustrate the thrill of attention to detail and the joy of uncovering hidden stories. The coin's design carries symbolism as well. Lincoln's profile, unchanging and dignified, and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, a structure of solemn permanence, together embody ideals that transcend monetary value, memory, perseverance, and national identity. The 2008 penny was the last of the memorial design era, a transitional bridge to the new Lincoln bicentennial designs of 2009. This position in history grants the coin additional significance, making it a cornerstone for both collectors and scholars. Market forces, speculation, and belief intersect in ways that are almost philosophical. The idea of value extends beyond price. It encompasses rarity, condition, emotional connection, and cultural memory. The notion of a penny worth tens of millions or even more is less about commerce and more about imagination and the human drive to find meaning. Collectors, auction houses, and museums all participate in shaping that narrative, ensuring that the coin story continues to evolve. The human element remains central. Generations of people, from casual finders to seasoned numismatists, have interacted with this coin, handled it, saved it, or overlooked it. Every interaction adds an invisible layer of history, a quiet testimony to its existence. As decades pass, the coin will continue to serve as a tangible link to 2008, a year remembered for both challenge and resilience. As a physical object, it is small, but conceptually, it is enormous. It teaches patience, observation, and reverence for detail. It carries lessons in endurance, in understanding, and in valuing the ordinary for the extraordinary stories it can hold. A coin that is easily overlooked in daily life can, through time, circumstance, and human engagement, transform into something far greater than its humble size or face value. In conclusion, the 2008 1-cent coin is a reminder that the ordinary is never truly ordinary. It is a bridge between eras, a witness to history, and a testament to human curiosity. Whether it rests quietly in a jar, shines under the scrutiny of a collector's microscope, or becomes part of a legendary discovery, its journey continues. The coin does not rush, does not demand, yet its presence is permanent. It is small, yet eternal, a singular object carrying the weight of memory, value, and possibility into the future. And so ends the journey through the 2008 1-cent coin, a journey of metal, history, chance, and human imagination, where even the smallest denomination can tell a story as vast and enduring as time itself.